The following program is a real estate and mortgage show and does not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of Reality Radio 101, its advertisers and sponsors, or its listening audience. Listener discretion is advised. Good morning and welcome to Your Home, Your Money with your hosts, Randy and Jackie, right here on Reality Radio 101. To get on board, send us an email. Our email address is yourhomeyourmoney101@gmail.com. And now, ladies and gentlemen, right to your hosts of Your Home, Your Money, Randy and Jackie.
Are we live?
We are live,
people?
hon.
Hi, I don't know. I don't
Sorry.
know if we're live or not.
We are. The bathroom called. I am so sorry, people. We're
Nobody
here.
said we're live.
It's live.
Oh,
Gary,
my
you can't hear
goodness.
him? Okay, we're here.
I can't hear him. No, I guess something happened.
It's not happening for you?
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Wow, I don't know.
Technology issues.
It's not technology, it's Jackie issues because she
Jackie
doesn't know
issues?
how to work stuff.
Is that what it is?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, well, good. I'm glad it wasn't me that said that.
But hey, I just sat here and did nothing while we were live. Yay! Isn't that good? I think I turned it down by mistake, Mike.
Oh, okay.
I think it was me. Because I had this headache, so I turned it down, but I think I turned it down too much.
So here we are in already in August with a crazy real estate market. Like, I mean crazy.
In what way?
Well, sales are down another 5.3%. I mean, and as you guys who have been following us know, that sales have been down, like 50% since this all started. And so the bottom isn't here. A lot of people are talking the bottom is here, but it isn't here with respects to transactions yet. That's for sure. Not with these kind of declines. And the other thing is what we're seeing is we're seeing that prices are trying to hold. So prices went down last month. I believe it was 0.9%, and this month we're looking at 0.8%. So we're looking at a 1% decline each of those months over last year, roughly speaking. And that's telling you that there is a downward pressure on prices. It's not necessarily saying, we're in this market crash or whatever. However, there is something to be said that when you're having price decline over some of the biggest price declines we've ever had, that's saying something with the market. Now, what that means is that things are still going down, but they're just going down a lot slower. But to put it in perspective, it's basically not a huge change in the overall marketplace. 1% is only $10,000 on $1 million. So $1 million property would have went down to $990, and so basically that's really what we're seeing: a $5,000 decline on a $500,000 house. However, there's more to this than meets the eye, and one of the things that is having a huge market shift, just massive, is the fact that when things were going really, really well, and it was next to impossible to buy a home because there would be anywhere from 10 to 30 and even more offers on a home, and you'd have to outbid the price of a home by, $100,000 and more in most cases, or many cases. And it was just, it was just a really tough time for buyers then. At that time, the market started to sort of get out of its normal operations, the way in which it normally functions. And so good areas and bad areas had no difference. Uh, I saw situations where traditionally Whitby would be one of the higher priced areas in Durham region, or actually along the 401 part of Durham region, with the exclusion of Western Pickering. Whitby would be a more expensive place to live, and we were watching, and the cheapest place to live would have been Oshawa. And we were watching homes in Oshawa actually sell for more than homes in Whitby. Now that's when you know that the market is out of control. The lowest pricing area was getting prices that were beating at times, not right across the board, but the fact that it was happening was astonishing. Was beating the areas that is good. And so this was happening during that period of confusion. Really, why did confusion happen? The bank rates were so low that it made it feasible for people to sell their smaller home and buy a bigger home and pay the same money, and sometimes even less, in terms of monthly payments. And to be honest, in most people, that's how they buy homes. They're not buying homes based on the purchase price, even though that's the end result. They're buying it based on the payments, the affordability. So, because that's how they're
And not
able
when the
to
market was
maintain it.
crazy. When the market was crazy, I think people were
It was the
going a
same-
little
it was
over
the same-
budget.
Yeah, but it was the same thing. Same thing. They figured out what their monthly payments were, and then where they could be on that scale. So that's sort of what I was referring to. But yes, I agree that they were pushing the envelope.
Yes.
So, so the thing is that what people would do is, because they couldn't get a home in their ideal locations, they would go to the secondary and in less desirable locations and purchase the homes. They got into the market. And why the market was like that was because the Bank of Canada had made the rates extremely low. And so, that's what made it very attractive. So now fast forward, the Bank of Canada said, oops, we kind of overshot our projections. We did quantitative easing too much, and the market and inflation is out of control. They tried to blame it on Canadians being let out of their homes, but it really wasn't that. Most people know that it wasn't that, except for the banksters and that, but the rest of us know that it was the spending and the printing of settlement balances, let's call it Bank of Canada money that was flowing through the economy that caused it. So now what's happening, in a very ferocious and unforgiving way, is that the areas that are not as desirable for a number of reasons. Maybe there's a lot of industrial in the neighborhood. Maybe the schools don't have the best reputations. Maybe there's a fair amount of what they call affordable housing projects in the neighborhood. Crime may not be the best in those neighborhoods. There's not really parks and things of that nature in the neighborhoods. The density is higher in the neighborhoods. The home types are more variable in the neighborhoods. There are higher rentals in the neighborhoods. So there's a number of reasons why these neighborhoods tend to be less desirable than other neighborhoods. how you go to the pinnacle, which is when you get to an all detached neighborhood with hopefully bigger homes, and you get onto a cul-de-sac that's a sort of like a dead end street with a ravine right there, and just a few homes on that street, and it's lined with big homes coming down, and those are the most desirable neighborhoods. Is the quiet neighborhoods that are sprinkled with a lot of natural resources, as opposed to man-made resources that reduce the quality of the neighborhood. I couldn't hear it. Such as gas stations and shopping malls. Everybody loves to be close to the shopping, but we don't want to be at the shopping.
Yeah, like backing on
and backing
or
onto it, or in
beside
front of it,
or
or beside it, or
because you get
facing it.
nonstop traffic of
Traffic.
people, noise,
And it's not even a great visual.
and it's not a good resale.
So then what's happening is these neighborhoods that are less desirable with higher crime and things of that nature, those neighborhoods or pricing is coming down ferociously.
Yes.
Like, I mean, I don't think I've ever seen anything like it. A lot of people aren't talking about it, but I guess for us, our proximity to Oshawa is very close. And Oshawa being one of the most affordable communities in the GTA, with proximity to downtown Toronto and jobs and things of that nature, it holds a lot of transactions. And we are just seeing in the bad neighborhoods, like in some neighborhoods, there's this one neighborhood that we tracked because we just sold a month and a half or something like that ago, and they're experiencing like an $80,000 decrease in 2 months.
Not even.
On average, not even 2 months.
Yeah.
On average. Like, we're not talking about, one sale that you can pick and say, oh, that person had to make it happen. No, we're talking about the marketplace. We sold a small little bungalow.
Under 1,100 square feet.
Under 11, oh, actually, under 900.
Yeah,
It
it
was
was
900 and change, or almost, it was 890. Somewhere in that 900 range square feet. On a corner lot, which is usually the least desirable lots, because that's where you get everybody crossing over onto
And
your
this lot
property.
didn't really have a backyard; it was a side yard.
Yeah, and there's no backyard, and we got priced almost $80,000 more a month and a half ago than bigger properties on more quieter streets, not on the corner, with a nice backyard, with a garage, whereas this one didn't have a garage. 2 levels, bigger home, selling for less, like $80,000 less, renovated. So the market is very, very
Volatile.
volatile, and what we are actually experiencing right now is a return to normality. That's what we're seeing. So real estate used to be the 3 rules of thumb in determining a great property was location, location, location. Those were the 3 things. And then that switched, and location wasn't part of the equation. It was just, is the house available? Is there enough? Hopefully there's not that many offers on it, and it doesn't look good. That's what it went to, but it's going back to location, location, location now. And so it's sort of like evening in itself back to what it was before. And I am just so grateful. I have a few clients, all of our clients become friends, and I think that may be true for most realtors. And I remember once standing outside of this absolutely beautiful home, and across the street was a little plaza. It wasn't so beautiful, but the home was well priced, and it was in great condition. and it was on not a busy street, but a secondary street, so not, and very close to a very busy street. And I remember the buyer look at me and say, Randy, this is the nicest home on the market. This is a great price. And I said, I won't mention the name, but the problem with this home is that across the street. The location of this home in this neighborhood, the neighborhood wasn't necessarily bad, but that was the worst location in the neighborhood for a family home. Great for a tenanted home, you know, if you're going to do tenants, it's perfect because you got the plaza right across the street, you got the bus stop right there, you got the busy road right there, 401 just down the road. It was great for that, but not for a family home. And I remember saying,
oh, sorry, go ahead.
and
No, I'll say after.
Okay, and I remember saying to him, the problem that I have here is that you think it's great now, but when you're ready to sell, it's probably going to be in a normal market, and nobody's going to want to live across the street from that plaza. They're not going to want to walk out of their house every day and see a plaza. You know, they want to walk out of the house and if possible, see other houses or even better, see green
Trees.
space. So he ended up buying a house where he walked out of his house and saw green space, and it absolutely destroyed the price today of homes in that other neighborhood. And so I'm just so grateful for the training that I had, the fundamentals, and using it with our clients through that really kind of crazy time, to the point where our clients are actually not hurt by this shift. And it's something to be proud of. Now, did we make as many sales as everybody else? No. But, you know, it was partially by design because our whole being is about bringing value to our clients and not necessarily sales for ourselves. And does that hurt us? Yes. Does that bring down our transactions? Yes. Will we ever become the number one in Durham? No. But being the number
Do
one
you
in
want to be
Durham,
number one?
no,
I don't either.
No, it's not that.
And you know what?
That is not the goal.
I don't mean to cut you off, but I was thinking about this actually all week.
All
And
week?
I posed
Wow,
it.
that's a
I
long
posed
time.
it to you once, but I haven't really seen you much this week. You've been working a lot. You usually work a lot, but I've been home because we got things going on there. But I was thinking, like, a question for people out there. Like, what do you think of when somebody says, I'm the number one agent in Durham, I'm the number one agent in Toronto, in the GTA, I'm the number, like what, I often wonder what people really think and what that means to them, because to me, it's like,
Actually,
can
I
be-
would like, you know, sorry to interrupt you, hon, but I would like people to possibly email in and
well, yeah,
let
that's
us
what I'm
know.
saying. I'd like to know what people think, but over and above that, this is the way I think. If I was going out there to look for a real estate agent, and maybe it's because I've been an agent for 26 years, so I'm not, you know, just somebody out there buying real estate or selling, but I would think, I'm not going to look at you and say, oh, you're the number one agent, and I want to work with you because you're number one. What number one means, guys, when they put that out there, is that they do the most transactions. Okay, they're making a lot of money and they're doing the most transactions. But would you rather work with a number one agent that's pumping through transactions, or would you consider the number one agent someone who's completely customer service oriented, someone that is always looking out for your interests, always making sure that you pay the least amount, that you buy and you get it for the best price? Like, that's what I think of a number one agent. I think a number one agent, you need to change how you're looking at it, because a lot of these small, like, we're like a boutique. We are 100% referrals. And I think sometimes I have lost clients because we deal with referrals. Like I said, that's our business, 100%. That's where all of our business comes from. But every now and then when we list a house, we get a lot of sign calls. And sometimes, you know, we pick up a client here and there. And that had happened to me earlier this year when I was selling a home. And, you know, I took that really, really nice guy, works out in the further east, living in Brampton, too far, wants to now, you know, buy a house down here so he doesn't have to drive as far. And met his family, lovely family. They asked me all kinds of questions, felt like we hit it off. But there was about 3 homes that he asked me to go show him. And all 3 of those houses I had a problem with. He loved them because they were finished. They had a basement apartment, but you know, for me, I don't just look at what it's like now. I look at in the future if you want to sell or you have to sell. So every one of those homes, I discouraged him from doing an offer, whether it was because there's a, you know, a school, not a school, but it was like some kind of a big building next to it that's no longer, you know, it's closed down. We don't know what's going to happen to that building in the future. Who knows? They might use that as a, you know, like a homeless shelter. We don't know. And also, there's quite a few of them popping up in certain areas. So I said to him, I know you love this house. It's really cute. And, you know, the price is probably going to go very well when they do the offers, but I'm a little worried about it. I'm worried about what's sitting next to it. And this house was sitting next to it. I'm like, we don't know what's going to happen in 5 years to that. That may drive the property value of this home down, or it might put something there that's going to drive it up. And that was like the 3rd home I showed him that he liked and he wanted to buy. And after that, he kind of ghosted me. So, and I don't pursue people. I don't, you know, call you up and bug you. You know, if you don't want to work with me, great, then go find the appropriate person that you feel comfortable working with. But I believe I lost him because I kept telling him not to buy the houses and he wasn't getting one. But unfortunately, when you deal with an agent that is strictly customer service oriented, a lot of times, believe it or not, people don't even really like it. But to me, I think, you know, and I got off the rail a little probably, but I think people need to reevaluate when they see number 1 agent, what it really means. And I'm not saying that number 1 agent is not giving a great service. I'm just saying you need to look into it a little more and just make sure that they're giving you the service that you expect and you deserve. But we just got a couple of emails.
Didn't he eventually get back to you?
No, I did text him a little bit. I'm not a person to be really invasive, and I tell people that right off the get-go if they approach me during an open house or something. And I honestly tell them right off the get-go, listen, I'm not a pushy agent. I'm not going to call you. If you want help from me, by all means, here's my email. I'm not, like, they can decide if they want to work with me. Yeah. I'm not going to hound them.
But if they decide to work with you, you're not going to call them?
Of course I am. Okay. But I'm saying initially, I tell them, if they ask me for info, I send it to them, but then I tell them it's up to them. I'm not going to keep bothering you. I'm really not going to keep bothering you. And I had another lady that, you know, they were on the fence about buying investment property or buying out her grandmother's house. And I said, well, you know, why wouldn't you just buy out your grandmother's house, especially if you can
get a
deal and you can possibly maybe do a payment plan even with them? Like, why would you go into the market right now in investment property when the interest rates are so high? Like, go for it. Go to your grandma's house, fix that up, you know. Anyways, but that's the way I am.
Profits.
You know, so we do have a couple emails that I'm going to quickly go before you start.
So if I was to summarize what I think you were saying is you were trying to give real-world example of how it is. 1, you're not pushy and trying to get a sale. 2 is that your most important focus is on helping that client to realize not only their goals, but how it relates to the marketplace so that they don't get themselves into trouble. And I do recognize that is true, that it does sometimes lose you clients because sometimes they don't know what they don't know and they believe that certain neighborhoods, because I know, I remember you were looking up some, and the crime was really bad. Like Mississauga has it's moved down from Brampton and into Mississauga. Some
Yeah,
of the crime
especially around
numbers,
Square One. Oh my gosh,
some of
it's
the numbers
really
are just
bad.
crazy. The car
Yeah.
break-ins and jackings and all that stuff. So, there are certain areas that just aren't good areas to buy, and then yes, they're less money, and
They're conveniently placed.
and may seem attractive, but it's only short-term attractive. And not only that, with population growing the way in which our government is growing population, those problems are only becoming more. And so what's happening is those areas are becoming less desirable, prices are being pushed down, which means that the equity position that you would be in if you bought those properties would begin to decline as opposed to appreciate, which is what our goal is. Our goal is to help you to put yourself into a position where you can have good appreciation on your value. So if it turns out that the only place you can buy is a crime-filled neighborhood, then you need to know that. But if you
Yes.
have children in that, it's a very big concern for us, knowing how life plays.
Well, I
So-
personally could not enjoy my life if I sold a house to somebody and they're calling me and they're upset somehow about something with the house or the neighborhood, or I couldn't live with myself. And I don't know, maybe it's just because I have extreme anxiety and I worry and I think about everything all the time going, right, maybe that's what makes me the kind of agent I am. I don't know, but I just know that I can't live with that. The guilt would just destroy me. But like I said, I have anxiety that could play part in that. I'm not saying that I'm this wonderful person, but But
What would happen if I said you're not this wonderful person?
you say that all the time.
I
I'm
do
kidding.
not.
I'm kidding. Anyways, let's do these couple of emails. Let's talk. Kim says, good morning to Randy and Jackie. Forget about the numbers. No one can afford a house anyways. Let's talk about the U.S. presidential debate. Kim, the U.S. presidential debate and any politics seems to get my husband in big trouble. He seems to be not liked a lot on the show anymore because of that. But guys, you know what? I love to nitpick my husband, and he loves to nitpick me. We do it all the time, not even on the show. That's just the kind of people we are. But I want to say one thing. Do not judge my husband by the things he says politically, because
Judge me.
because my husband is like the devil's advocate. He likes to get people going. He likes to be on both sides of the story, and that's just who he is. But if you want to know about real estate and you want to know what is happening now, what has happened, what he feels is going to happen, this is the show you need to watch. This is the man you need to listen to. So you need to get out of that political thing, and you need to listen to him when it comes to real estate, because I'm telling you, I've been in real estate for 26 years. I've been with this man for 30 years, and almost every prediction he says happens. He knows real estate like he knows the back of his hand. He studies it. He lives, sleeps, eats, breathes, passion. Everything is real estate for this man.
If I'm not sure, I just won't say it. I just say, I don't know. It could go this way or that way.
But that's what he is. He is 100% real estate and mortgages. So if I can say one thing, and I think we lost some viewers because he claimed he was liberal, but he's not. But anyways, listen to him for the real estate, because I think he's one of the best real estate agents out there. He will give you the best advice, and it's honest and it's integral, and I don't know. I can tell you.
You just spun that email. You just spun it because she asked about the presidential election. And
yes,
you went
and
on
I
about
said
me.
that I don't know, Kim, if that's a good area for my husband.
I'm not going to spin it. There's this this YouTube video. It says, I can't remember what it says, but it says something like, I don't want happiness. I want problems always.
Oh my gosh.
And anyways, I don't know why
He's
I
addicted
think
to
it's
this,
funny.
and we're sitting there, and all of a sudden he's doing real
Just keep saying
estate,
it.
and I guess he needs a little break. And all of a sudden and he has the headphones on a lot, and listening to stuff, and he'll just start laughing like crazy. And I look over at his bloody
Problems
computer,
always.
and this is what he's watching. These stupid, and I don't even think they're funny.
They are funny, but
They're not
anyway,
funny.
so I will talk about the debate. I feel
I'm
like,
going to give you
I feel
5
like
minutes on it,
I
and
feel
that
like
is
I have
it.
to.
That's it.
I think that Kamala Harris was brilliant during that debate.
She did come off very,
She was brilliant. In it, she did a really, really, really good job. When you are looking at that debate from a happiness or joyful or playful or point of view, but if you look at it from each one of the topics that were actually discussed, it's and you honestly do that. Like, I mean, you need to do so. You need to take the topic and look at what each person said. Take the topic, look at what each person said, and it is a night and day. Trump destroyed her. But if you look at the joyful and the happy, which would actually make sense, the Democrats today I don't actually believe they're very logical. I mean, let's just take one point that Kamala said. She said that she's going to give every new home buyer $25,000 to buy a home. And this is going to help make homes more affordable.
How?
Listen to me very carefully. That is the stupidest thing that anybody could ever say. Now, I understand that from a joyful point of view and from the point of view of maybe most of the people who's their base doesn't understand what she just said. But if you give buyers money, you're creating more demand. More demand drives up prices, doesn't reduce prices. So it's absolutely stupid. And the problem is that, when you talk about, that you're going to increase the taxes, but only on the corporations and the rich, then what happens? They take their businesses and go into other countries because the taxes are lower there. So you're not helping. And this is really honestly where the rubber meets the road. It's joy versus policies. And it's just so unfortunate that I feel that the Democratic Party has moved so far to the left that the things it is that they're bringing out, and that the policies that they claim to be making and things like that are joyful policies that when they actually come to fruition have the opposite effect of what they're looking to do. Look at their Inflation Reduction Act. What did that do? It destroyed inflation. Anyways, so the thing is that the debate, it is very, very easy to think that Kamala may have won that debate if you are a Democrat. But rest assured, if you write it down on a piece of paper and go over each one of the topics that they discussed, you will see that it was a nothing burger from her, other than nice, joyful talking.
You're running out of time with the debate.
And so that is the problem I have there. And the other thing is that kind of at the end, I don't think that Donald Trump, he said that was his best debate ever. I am not in agreement with that, because while he won, you had to be a little strategic to see it, because she was posed very well, whereas his demeanor wasn't as well. But when it came to policies and everything, he destroyed her. But at the end, where he said, If you just go out and do some of these things you're talking about because you're in power, then I don't need to run, kind of thing. Let's go. Why don't you go out and do it now? That sort of told everybody what she was really up to. The people who had to look through. So that was my take on the debate.
You did good. 4 minutes, actually. Wow. So this is an interesting email I got from Dave. Hi, Dave. Dave says, being number one is not what it is cracked up to be. A lot of pressure there, but your business model sucks. He's talking about us. I can totally understand keeping a customer happy and not about the sale, etc. But bankruptcy is also a dumb idea. Sell a house, will you? Stop this value crap, or we will see you at the kitchen soup. Okay, so Dave, I want to answer this. Yes, you might, well, you won't see me at the kitchen soup anymore because they closed down Vincent's Kitchen. But if you came in there, you would have saw me volunteering at the kitchen soup. Yes, I've done that many times. So I'm okay with the kitchen soup. But I don't think that my business model sucks because we've been in business, my husband, for 38 years. There's 5 of us on our team, 5 agents. And we have huge databases. We treat our clients with respect, integrity, everything. Those people always come back to us. Always. I'm doing okay. We both sell real estate. We don't have other incomes. I'm hanging in there. I don't think I'm going bankrupt yet.
I'm gonna say I want to comment on Dave. Dave, you are 90% correct. Okay, Harvard Business School will tell you, yes, that's the way it is. Sales, 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 sales. And that's fine. And I will agree with you, David. I would rather be in the soup kitchen or even bankrupt over doing sales,
Taking
sales,
people.
sales. That is, and I can't help it. That is just me. I would rather go, and I have nothing against mechanics, but try to be a mechanic or try to be a whatever, lawn care specialist, I don't know, do something else, but I won't do real estate if real estate is going to be about sales.
And
so
dishonest.
while it really is, forget dishonest, because just because you're doing sales doesn't mean you have to be dishonest. So you can still have integrity and do that. However, the integrity is to the transaction. The integrity is to getting another transaction, not actually servicing your client. And what I mean by that is when your client says, well, you know what, I really don't think I want to follow through with this. I don't want to do that. That's when you put in the scaremongrel thing in order to keep your transaction together, as opposed to help your client to do what it is that they need to do and get and possibly get out of the transaction. So service over sales. My thing is this, Dave, is that if you believe that sales is the most important thing,
Money.
you are right.
Money.
You're
He's
100%
basically,
right.
that's what he's talking
For
about.
you are 100% right. But also, Dave, I will tell you this, something that you don't know based on what you said. If you believe that service is it, then you're also right. Dave, there's more than one world out there. Just because your favorite color is blue doesn't mean that blue is the best color to everyone. Some people will have other opinions, and it doesn't make you right over them. So while I agree with you, Dave, that Harvard Business School and the rest of the world and almost all of our competition is about sales, transactions, that's great for them. But for us, it's service.
And not
if
only
that
that-
means that we lose some transactions, we're perfectly okay with that because we believe in our hearts that the service gives us more referrals, which gives us more long-term business.
Not only long-term business,
and
but-
we feel good about ourselves, and that's most important.
And you think about it, there's 5 of us on our team. Would we love to expand? Yes, but we're only going to expand if the right agents that have the same integrity of us comes by. But it's like, I had a client, a really, not a
I
client, a
wouldn't say
friend.
integrity.
Well,
think
I don't know,
no,
and call
because,
it what you
because
want.
you're assuming that the people who are
But I-
sales don't have integrity.
I
They have
said,
integrity.
but I also said the last time that that doesn't mean that the number one agents that are sales aren't good agents.
Right.
I said that before.
It's
but what
just
I'm saying,
different.
what I'm saying now is, Dave, like there's 5 of us, but realistically, there's not 5 of us. We pretty much have, let's say, maybe 2,000 agents out there because we give phenomenal service, because we'll like buy you the washer and dryer, because we'll make sure that you're happy at the end of the transaction. Every one of these people that we deal with is an advocate selling our services because they know that when they refer us, that their friend, their client, their mother, whatever, is in good hands. And I'm sorry, I know a
And-
lot of people think that that sounds, what's the word? Sounds
don't know what-
unrealistic, sounds mushy, whatever, but that's the way we are. I can't help that I'm that way.
You know what? Nothing to be ashamed of.
And for 26 years that I have been licensed, Randy much longer, we have been in business together and striving and doing very well. So I'm not going to change my business model. Actually, the worst
We'll
year
double
we've
down.
had, the worst year we had was the best year that every other agent had. When the market was nuts and everybody was buying and selling, our clients did nothing because that's what we told them. Be careful. Don't go out there. Don't overspend. Don't this. That was probably our worst year. Was like a couple years ago.
Well, for buyers, for sure.
Yeah.
On the buying side.
Yeah,
On the
because
selling
we
side,
just
it was
But
phenomenal.
anyways, we're not trying to toot our own horn or anything like that. But
No, we have a
but-
different belief.
But I'm not quitting real estate yet.
This is a fundamental difference. And I really appreciate your email, Dave, because, you came out, you're honest, you're saying what you
Yes.
see. However, Dave, that is what you see. We see things differently.
I think that when you look into the future, the agents that are going to be around are those agents that are customer service oriented. Because
You know-
when the industry gets really bad, what are you going to be looking for? You're going to be looking for an agent that has your best interests at heart. And at some point, people are going to see who those agents are.
Everybody wants that, but their expectations to get it is very different.
Yes.
Because I will tell you that the last thing that people want is to have the realtor that they know that if they go to them with that problem, the realtor is just not even going to care about the problem. They're going to care about trying to get you back into the transaction. That is the worst feeling in the world, and that's not what we're there for. Is it a transaction really that important? Or is it the client's goal that's that important? And if the client's goal, and if sometimes the clients actually, and it's actually not sometimes, it's often that during the transaction that they don't have a full understanding of the marketplace where they would do things to harm themselves. And Dave, I'll take this one last point, that with your philosophy, that it's all about the transaction, just sell the house, get sales. That is where many people say that AI will take over and take over the real estate transaction. I agree. If that is the focus, is just getting the sales, well, then the program can be written that way and you're just constantly just working on getting the sale, constantly working on moving it forward. But if it's actually about servicing your client, then that's a different thing. That's a moving target. It changes from day to day. And there's a lot of support that needs to be done around that. And the two foundations are very different. It's really interesting that when you come from a service background as opposed to a sales background, and that's the foundation. Once that plant grows and you're going through an experience timeline with your client, there are different points within the transactions that the way in which it's handled is completely different, because one is a sales transactional answers, And we go to training on that all the time, and I absolutely hate it. I say, why would I do that? You have one answer for, one client that talks about the room's too small, and you got another answer for the other client who says the room is too big, and you're just flip-flopping on your answers just to move for the transaction. So you're not there for the client. And the thing is that the truth of the matter is if you are okay with that, what you've done is you want to become a master salesperson. And there's nothing wrong with that. I actually think it probably runs the world. But for us, that's not important. What's important is being a master service agent. And so that is where we're coming from.
And I think too,
And
like
that's it. And we're unapologetically that way.
yes, and I think too, I've been ripped off several times, whether it's contractors or whatever, and maybe because I'm too nice, I give too much up front on the job, whatever, but it's not a good feeling.
No.
It is not a good feeling. It feels like this, okay? It's not a good feeling. It's not a feeling that I want to subject somebody to.
No.
Because it happens to us over and over and over. Some of our friends are saying, like, how the hell do you get ripped off constantly? And we're like, I don't know
where you're going with that. I don't agree with that.
Okay, you don't.
It does happen, but it happens to everyone.
You know, and it's not a good feeling, and I don't want to be the person to subject that. I don't want a ton of money. I want to live comfortably. My kids have some security. I don't need a ton of money. Like, what do they say? If you have more than you need, give to others. I'm sorry, but that's,
Okay.
and maybe I just grow up with all these little sayings, right? Like, what comes around goes around. So, and I believe in those things.
I think David is right for David.
Dave, yes.
But David is not right for us. And that's the way it is. But I do agree with him. It doesn't matter if you're a sales agent or a service agent.
Yeah.
Right now, the way the transaction is, everyone can go bankrupt. Everyone
Yes.
can end up working at McDonald's.
Well,
that's just the way
listen.
that is. But I'll tell you this, which way do you get to sleep better?
There's
for
agents,
us anyways.
yeah, like there's agents out here in Durham right now that are very big agents that are selling their locations, that have lost tons of agents, and these are the big ones, and they're suffering. They're really suffering right now, and maybe they're transactional based. I don't know, but they are agents that do a lot of business.
I think everyone's
And-
transactional based. That's how we are taught. Every single coach that we have hired throughout our career, and there's been a number of them, and we've only kept one. We've only kept one for how many years? And he's not transactional
he's a
based.
referral coach.
He's a by referral coach. So that's the one that resonates with us, that makes sense. But we hire other coaches because we
We've
do
tried.
want to be a little more aggressive and get more market share in that. But we always end up having a personality conflict with the techniques that we feel are dishonest. I'll give you one. This technique, you're going to see this billboard everywhere, and I've had clients that tell, hey, Randy, you should do it. It'll make you more sales. We'll buy your house if we don't sell it.
Oh, God.
And the thing is that it's a great slogan, and especially right now when people, are underwater on their homes. They're trying to figure out who will buy their home. Well, this guy will buy it if he doesn't sell it, so let me use him. The thing is, it's just dishonest. And I remember having this debate with a client. He was saying, well, you should do it, Brandon. You're going to get more transactions. You can do this. And I said, well, transactions, there are certain transactions that I would like, and there are certain transactions that I don't like, as Jackie had pointed out. If we feel we're going to be doing harm to you by selling you that property based on your needs. If you're a tough guy and you don't have kids and you're not married and you're moving into a tough neighborhood, great, you can handle it. But if you have a sensitive wife and you have your young children, whatever, and you're moving into that neighborhood, but you think it might be good because you're not seeing any crime at that time, we're not doing that with you. But my point is that we'll buy your house if you don't sell it. I don't want to get in front of a customer based on a lie. The lie is is that we will buy your house if we don't sell it. The reason why that's a lie is because the money that you're offering them for their house, everybody will buy it at that price. And not only will everybody buy it at that price, but they'll buy it at that price. They won't even close on the house. They'll resell it before it closes at a higher price and pocket the difference. It's totally illogical. So it's like, who wants that? What seller wants that, to sell their home at a price that anybody would buy their house at? But it's a gimmick, right? It's a good gimmick to get in front of customers. But my point is, I don't want to get in front of a customer based on a lie when we're totally integrity based. And so it's like, well, okay, are we going to lose transactions over that? Yes.
Yeah, a lot.
David, you're right. We will
Dave.
lose transactions. Dave, is it Dave or
It's
David?
Dave, it's
Dave or David. You're right. It's totally transactional based. You say whatever it is in order to get you in front of the customer. I'd rather not have the sale. I'd
Yeah.
rather not have the appointment.
Yeah.
I'd rather
I
not
mean,
have the
yeah,
business.
but-
I'd rather not be in business if that's what I
It's,
got to do.
yeah, and we're talking too much about this probably, but
No, I think
like,
it's good.
I just did a
I'm
lease.
glad,
I
yeah.
just did a lease in the city. I don't do a lot of leases, but I'll do them for my clients. And I did both ends of it. Someone reached out to me. They wanted to lease it. I leased it. There was clearly no washer and dryer in the unit when I showed it to him. I showed it. Open it. There's no washer and dryer. There is a laundry room down on a certain level. They give you a laundry card. You load your laundry card. You can go do it. It was also not in the lease that there was a washer and dryer, okay? But this gentleman is renting this condo for his 87-year-old mother, okay? 87-year-old mother. When they move in and everything, they're like, there's no washer and dryer. And I'm like, yes, it was, there was no washer and dryer. When I showed it to you, I sent him the photo of the empty room, everything. I said, it's not in the lease, whatever. He says, but my mom can't go down on an elevator and do her laundry and all that. It's too much for her. So what are we doing? We're seeking out a washer and dryer for her. A washer and dryer is even more money than what I made on a transaction, but you know what? That's what's going to make me feel good. So that's what I do, unfortunately, and I can't apologize for that, right? So anyways, that's just who we are. And, I don't know, maybe it's
what makes you feel good, Dave. And that's
Yeah.
what it really boils down to.
Yeah.
I got to admit, I don't win all the time. And that's what my wife was talking about earlier, saying, well, how come you'll lose, whatever. It's because, Dave, I would rather take the loss and move on rather than have that person take the loss.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's come back to bite me a few times, but you know what? It makes me feel
Definitely,
good. And I can't help it. It's part of my spirit. It's the way I am. It's the way I roll.
Yeah.
that's
So
it.
let's
Go
do
on.
these couple of emails. I think we got 3 or 4 right now. Oh, yeah. Okay. So Tim is, hello, I've seen Jackie's picture online and she is beautiful. She could be a #1 agent. Well, thank you, Tim, but I couldn't be a #1 agent because
Sure you could. You are a #1
definitely
agent.
not off
You're
my
just not
looks.
number one in
Definitely not off
Durham,
my looks, but thank you.
Your numbers are very good.
And then Roy says, wow, Jackie, what did Randy buy you? Such love. I love this man. He's amazing. He tells me every day how beautiful I am, how much he loves me, how much he appreciates me. I love him. And does he buy me stuff? Yeah, but not, he doesn't spoil me all the time. So there, I just love him. And James says, Randy is right regarding Camilla. However, and there are a lot of them, not only did she appeal to American voters, especially women, and the abortion issue by talking down to them like she really cared, but her record as a prosecutor, senator, and a vice president is a sham. She looked great, talked great, but lied, and Trump was beaten.
Yeah.
Camilla had some training beforehand, no doubt. That was not her normal personality and voice. She is normally a crackling idiot. Also, the FBI is now looking into her wearing an earpiece that looks like earrings. A German company that makes these things has come out and said it definitely looked like their project. We will see.
It's because of the pearl, but she was wearing some Tiffany earrings. I took a look at that because I was saying, wow, isn't that crazy? But the thing is, on the left-hand side, her hair was pretty fixed, so you couldn't really see that one. But on the other side, it was a Tiffany one. It was.
But her total tones and everything was different than normally.
Okay,
she
did
was
a
on
good
point.
job.
There was no hemming and hawing, nothing.
She did a good job.
Yeah.
You just leave it at that. That's fine. But I mean, if you're just looking at Joy and wonder that, but if you actually break it down to the topics, she got destroyed. And, and that's just basically it. And what actually made the whole thing worse was the way it was done. When they were saying they were actually debating Trump at times, the moderators. Like, how do you do that? Like, you know what? If I was Trump, I would have said, "Do you want a part on the podium? Because I know I'm debating with Kamala and you. Would you like to come up here? I'll let you share a space with me." I mean, I personally would have done that, and everybody would have hated me for it, but that's what I would have done.
And last email is from our producer, Gary, who says, "Randy and Jackie, please announce the new day and time of your radio show for your listeners." Randy?
Oh, Gary announced it. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I think it's Tuesday at 7:30.
Is it, Gary?
That's correct. Tuesday at 7:30 to 8:30 p.m. Eastern, right here.
So it's going to be now Tuesdays at 7:30 in the evening. We're changing our time. So
Yep.
guys, Tuesday, 7:30 p.m. we will be live.
How much time do I got? How much time do I got?
You got 4 minutes, babes.
Oh man, you always do this to me, but actually I did it to myself. So,
Yeah, I didn't talk very much.
What?
I didn't.
Okay, sales down 5.3%. 5.3% sales are
From
down.
when? From when?
What? Over last year. Why are sales continuing to decline? Is it because interest rates are high? Hey, in Bank of Canada, interest rates have been coming down. So shouldn't that stir sales? I already told you guys, if you tuned in last week and the week before and the week before that, you know that sales are not going to go down because of the Bank of Canada or go up because of the Bank of Canada announcements. Get it straight, people. Understand this. The Bank of Canada is talking about the variable rate. Nobody wants the variable rate. Not only is it more expensive than the fixed rate, nobody wants it because we do not trust Tiff Mackling with our family's finances, and that's what you would have to do for the variable rate. It is an okay product for certain particular situations, and so you need to talk to your professional to understand those situations and see if that's right for you. But the general population wants to know that when they sign a mortgage, that 4 years later they can afford it. And they can't do it with the Bank of Canada variable rate, so it will have no effect, none, on if buyers are going to flood the marketplace or not. Remember I said this, remember I've been telling you this, while the news was telling you if the Bank of Canada brings down the rates and things are going to go crazy, and now you hear everybody saying, the Bank of Canada brought down the rates, and it didn't affect the market. But I told you that from before. Why? When everyone else was saying different, I don't know why. I will tell you, one of the things that my wife said is that because I eat and dream
Eat, sleep, breathe.
breathe this stuff, there are certain things that come to me in it that make me understand at a different level. On a spiritual, I guess, level, that basically the consensus, the consumer confidence around the variable rate is extremely low, and because of that, the Bank of Canada announcements are going to have very little to do with the real estate market at this point. Now, but it will have a lot to do with trying to help the economy, because the economy is going through some major problems. The average price is down to 0.8% to just over $1 million. I wonder if by the end of the year, the average price will actually drop below $1 million. New listings are up 1.5%. That means there's more listings coming to the market each month than there was last year. And Sales to new listing trends are 39.5%, which means that we are heading we're in a balanced market heading towards a buyer's market. After active listings, the inventory on the market is up 46.2%. That means that we have almost 50% more inventory, or 40% more inventory than we had last year. More inventory, less sales. That's a downward pressure on prices. So people who are thinking about holding off till next year, you're going to lose money. That's a bet right there. Months of inventory, 3.3%. We're again in the balance range, moving towards a buyer's market. And the average sales to list price is at 99%. It has finally dropped below 100%, which means the whole multiple offer thing is not working. There's a downward pressure on negotiations. Thank you for listening.
And remember, new show time Tuesday, 7:30 p.m.
It's your home, your money,
and our lives.
On realityradio101.com. Bye for now.
Thank you for listening to Your Home, Your Money with your hosts, Randy and Jackie, right here on Reality Radio 101.